for just 14 yards. He was sacked 5 times. He had only 1 first down in his 5 series on the field. He was pulled with 2 minutes and change left in favor of Tyler Huntley. That decision had people asking their head coach, Kevin Stefanski, questions like this.
Can you address this sort of persistent narrative that that you're trying to sabotage Shadeur Sanders, especially after yesterday and not putting him in for the 2-minute?
Yeah, obviously, I don't concern myself with outside type of things, but I'm committed to his development, just like all of our rookies. So we'll continue to focus on getting our guys better, and that's what we'll stay committed to, and that's what's important to me.
Okay, to recap, because we touched on this story a little bit earlier, we all agree the notion that they're sabotaging him is ludicrous. NFL teams don't do that. Certainly don't do that in this context or in any context. So it's ridiculous, almost too ridiculous to address. That said, here's the piece where I understand why people think they're seeing something other than what they're seeing. Because there are many, myself included, who viewed Shadeur Sanders differently than the way he is actually perceived.
Yes.
His lot in life is he is a 5th-round pick in the NFL. This is how 5th-round picks get treated. We thought to ourselves, why aren't they doing everything they can to try and figure, oh, my God, a miracle befell us and we got this guy in the 5th round. They haven't done that, and others are looking at that and saying, oh, wow, they're sabotaging him. I understand what people think they're seeing.
Yeah, because people think with their feelings, right? The feeling was that Shadeur Sanders was a certain thing. We treated Shadeur Sanders as a certain thing. The entire coverage of this NFL draft was about when will Shadeur Sanders be picked? And when he was picked in the 5th round, maybe because of your individual evaluation, mine or Dan or Shefty's or Greeny's, we felt, oh my goodness, they got this player that could be a potential franchise quarterback who we thought was going in the 1st round. In the 5th round, they should treat him like a 1st rounder. Well, that's not real life.
Right.
Real life is when you are a 5th round pick, you are treated like a 5th round pick. You get the opportunities that 5th round picks get. And when they say things like, we are concerned with the development of Shadeur Sanders like we are all of our rookies, it's because what's tied to you is not what's tied to a 1st overall pick or to a top 10 pick or to a top 20 pick. And so for Shadeur Sanders, this is his lot in life now.
So to be clear, I hope Shadeur Sanders eventually gets a chance to show what he's capable of doing on the NFL level. It feels at this moment as though it is unlikely that that will happen at any point soon, maybe even not at any point this season. Is that a reasonable assessment?
Yeah, that's fair, because if you go back to this weekend's game, there was regression rather than progression. It wasn't perfect. The offensive line protection wasn't great. There weren't guys getting open left and right, but all he had to do was make the right decision, get rid of the football. But we saw a lot of this stuff from Colorado, and so RC said it before, more likely that everyone's going to have to get hurt before he plays. Joe Flacco is going to have to get hurt or play poorly for the next guy to get on the field. Dillion Gabriel should be the number 2 quarterback. He's going to have to get hurt or play poorly. Then it more than likely is going to be Kenny Pickett. So you have to go through 3 guys. Maybe
more significantly, have you seen stuff from Dillion Gabriel that would be, I mean, he's been sort of the overlooked man in all of this publicly.
Dillion Gabriel's tape has been fantastic. And everyone points to those 2 bad plays, which was the pick 6 and the fumble from that previous week. The pick 6 miscommunication, the fumbles on the quarterback. Dillion Gabriel's tape has, tape-wise, clearly been better than Shadeur's and should be the number 2 quarterback.
Give me a quick take, GM Mike Tank.
Yeah, my glass is half full with Shadeur Sanders because we saw him play in an NFL game and play really well. He has all the physical measurables you want. So if I'm talking to Shadeur, hey, we have a long horizon here, and your game day may be on Wednesday. Take advantage of it. So my glass is very much half full.
I'm sorry.
No.
The other thing is this, though. How many very good players for other teams weren't the best player at their position or couldn't get on the field in their room with their first team? Right? There's so many players who end up being good players in this league, but it's who are you compared to the person sitting next to you?
Right.
What we have is film that we could compare between Dillion Gabriel and Shadeur Sanders in this preseason. And when I look at that film, Dillion Gabriel is clearly the best player.
Right.
And I can be honest. I wanted Shadeur to be the better player.
Sure. Right.
I wanted to be right about my pre-draft analysis. But if you look at the film, who plays on time, who plays more efficiently, who is more accurate, who seems to have a better grasp of the offense is Dillion Gabriel.
Let me get Chef D in here. What is your expectation of how this goes?
Well, Joe Flacco is going to be the starting quarterback against the Cincinnati Bengals on opening day. Kenny Pickett, the other veteran on the roster, has not really played all that much. He's been battling a hamstring injury, still is not back to full strength. So if Kenny Pickett is not back at full strength, that would seem to indicate that Dillion Gabriel would have a realistic chance to be the backup quarterback on opening day, depending on Pickett. I think that they would like to have Pickett be the 2, but I don't know how healthy and if he's fully back. I see you shaking your head.
Why are we waiting for Kenny Pickett to be the 2, though?
That's like if I'm the Browns.
With what I've seen
but
from
they're
Dillion
carrying him on the roster. Why carry him on the roster then?
He should be the guy he traded. When you think about the Raiders losing Aiden O'Connell, Joe Mixon, Milton's been up and down for the Cowboys. If I'm Cleveland, I'm trading Kenny Pickett, going with Dillion Gabriel.
I want to get one more in here because we're up against it's an interesting topic. We'll see what happens in Cleveland. I do want to get one more on the Bears quarterback situation. Caleb Williams and the Bears snuck out a 29-27 win over the Chiefs in their final preseason game, but they had a rough start. Didn't score a touchdown until Caleb threw one to wide receiver Rome Odunze with 28 seconds left in the first half. Ben Johnson had some sound bites. We played them earlier for you where he suggested this was a sloppy performance. They needed to get it out of their system. Worth pointing out, the Chiefs played their starters a lot of this time.
Sure.
So, Dan, give me the assessment right now. We've seen everything we're going to see until he's on the field, Caleb. That is 2 weeks from tonight on Monday Night Football. What's the assessment?
What's best for Caleb Williams might not be what's best for the Bears offense. And what's best for the Bears offense might not be what's best for Caleb Williams. What I mean by that, Caleb is clearly more effective, comfortable playing in the shotgun. Okay, so there are things that he and that offense can do and execute in the shotgun world. But what's best for Ben Johnson's offense that we've seen over the 3 years in Detroit is them living in the under center world. 50% of their snaps were from under the center, most in the NFL. And so when everyone goes, well, you can, no, you can't. Hey, no, you can't. And so Caleb might like the shotgun better, but is that best for the offensive line in the run game? Caleb might execute the shotgun offense pass game-wise better, but is that best for the backs? Is it best for their play-action game? So this is just going to take an extended period of time of Caleb getting comfortable under center, Ben Johnson getting comfortable under what they can run from the gun and what he needs to demand from under center, and that's just going to not going to happen by September.
Agreed. The best solution for that is when you look at Ben Johnson's DNA is he also likes to go heavy, 6 offensive linemen. Don't be surprised if the first couple of weeks the word you're using about the Bear offense is conservative, because I think they'll play a lot of 2 tight ends, Cole Kmet and their first-round pick, Colston Loveland from Michigan. And to me, it'll be heavy protection, big emphasis on completions, and sort of walk before you run.
Let me hit you some numbers, Mike T, with Caleb in the gun from under center. Just this preseason. In the gun, he's taken 19 snaps, okay? 2.7 seconds to throw the football. Passer rating of 145, EPA of 8.9. That's in the gun. Under center, only 8 snaps, but it's still under center, something he doesn't do a lot of. 3.5 seconds to throw the ball. That's almost a second longer. 62 passer rating, down from 145, EPA of 0.6.
It's obviously taking him a second longer to pick up what's happening in front of him
100%.
when he's under center. But I do want to point to this person. I want to point to Todd Monken in Baltimore, right? Last year, we had so much conversation about what made Derrick Henry very good as opposed to what made Lamar Jackson very good. And Todd Monken had to figure out a way to marry those things, to still get the best out of his quarterback, but get the best out of his newly acquired running back. And he figured out a way to do that. That's the world that Ben Johnson is going to have to live in a little bit. We know what you love to do, and we know you love to do it, and you did it well and at a high level with Jared Goff. This isn't Jared Goff.
Correct.
How do you figure out the way to play 12 personnel, the way to use an extra lineman, the way to get the run game going, and allow Caleb Williams to find some level of comfort in playing the position?
Chef,